Well, in the future, if any members of the Trump administration listen to this program, please include me on the war planning group chats.
To take me out.
I'll just interject with it, like, tell me about the F-22's AIM 260 AMRAAMs. Are they cool?
I really think we need F-18s here, fellas. I don't know.
Yeah. Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It's March 27th. Tomorrow night, the Tennessee Volunteers are playing the Kentucky Wildcats at the Sweet 16.
There's something more immediate than that.
What's that?
It's a holiday today.
The 27th?
Uh-huh.
What is that?
Come on, dude.
Oh, it's opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's opening day.
One of the best days of the year.
It is a great day.
Opening day and Sweet 16?
Pretty good. I'm excited about baseball.
I love to hear that. It seems you're not.
I'm very excited about. Well, I'm sorry that it's Wednesday as we record this.
Right. Well, you knew what was happening on Friday.
I did. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. I am pumped up about baseball though. Very pumped up.
I hope so.
I think the Nats are going to be surprisingly not bad this year.
Frisky
Nats. We play in the toughest division of baseball. Credit to your Braves.
Yeah.
So those games are going to be tough.
How does one start to get into baseball if they haven't ever been into baseball?
All right. I love this. I love this question. Yes.
Good.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like I just have to pick a team, right? Like, and that's who I'm riding with.
Baseball, you have to have a team. It's a very hard sport to follow just casually nationally because it's a very regional sport. Like, even I'm a massive baseball fan. I'm not paying attention to the Angels and the Mariners and shit. Like, you have to have a team. So, I mean, you're obviously in Houston. You've gone to Astros games.
I'm not doing the Astros because they won like, I don't know, what, 2-3 championships in the last like 5. That's bandwagon shit, right? I'm
a
not
couple,
doing it.
yeah.
And they cheated.
And they cheated their ass off for one.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk through some others.
Okay, so hold on. I'm just gonna hold on. I don't want to do the Padres because that's too hometowny. You know what I mean?
That's kind of the whole thing. That's why people like teams.
What do you mean it's too hometowny? You just described sports fans.
Touche.
Arian, if I may,
you may not.
I really think
you may not. You asked and I said no, and you still Jesus.
That's
check
true.
your privilege, Eric.
That's true.
No. I want to have like an obscure baseball team. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do the hometown thing. I want to do something like, why the fuck do you like them? And it's like, you know what? It just happened. I want one of those.
Okay. I have a good list for you of those.
I'm gonna Google all MLB teams, and then let's just go over it and let's find me a team.
And you want somebody that's not great already, but that could be good.
Man, I want somebody that I could build with. You know what I'm saying?
I have the perfect team. I
feel like I have a perfect team.
All right, look, I just Googled it. It's loading up because my internet's loaded. What the fuck is going on? All right, here we go.
Can I
30 I thought there was 32, but there's 30.
It's 30.
Can I just interject real quick, Arian?
You may now.
I appreciate you trying to find like an obscure team to follow, but if you don't have that hometown connection to them, it will make it tough for you to really stay locked in on these guys. It just, that's the nature of it.
I don't have a baseball connection to them. Like I don't really watch baseball, so I'm looking for something to get me into baseball. But like I need to have somebody to root for. But like when I hear the San Diego Padres, all I see is a whole bunch of the homies wearing SD hats. And I don't know if there's no feeling.
But I do think that the Padres would actually maybe be the best team for you. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense on several levels.
The Padres they're fun. They're a very fun team. They've got guys that you will absolutely love to root for.
But I don't want to do the Padres.
Okay.
All
right.
I've got another one out west for you.
Okay. I'm just going to start with the A's. And we'll go all the way down to the W. I'm not doing the Washington Nationals, so we ain't got to do that. It's all good. No offense. All right. Arizona Diamondbacks.
I'm kind of offended.
Kind of fit the mold that you were looking for.
Okay. I'm looking like middle of the pack here. They're definitely middle of the pack.
The Oakland A's? No, you don't want the A's.
Yeah.
We're not even going to discuss the A's.
They're in Sacramento this year playing in a minor league stadium, and they just started spending money on the team after they moved out of Oakland. They kind of fucked Oakland bad. They're always a piece of shit.
Yeah, we don't want those then. Okay, the Braves. Not doing the Braves. Love the hats, though.
You could, though.
Love the hats. The Orioles.
We're not middle of the pack, but fun team.
I have a bad feeling about the Orioles because I did play Little League Baseball. I was on the Texas Rangers, and we pitched. I was batting against this dude that was pitching who played for the Orioles, and we were all 12. This nigga was 13, and he was tall as shit, and he was throwing heaters. So I hate them all for that reason.
Okay, so we have 30-year-old grudges coming into this. I like it.
That's a fair grudge, though. When you got the
I
one
like
guy
it.
that hits the growth spurt.
Yeah, sports. So fuck them. Who's the Baltimore Orioles rival?
Kind of the Yankees.
They would say the Yankees.
Kind of the Blue Jays. Kind of the Nats. Nobody like really.
I think Orioles fans would say the Yankees.
But the Yankees obviously, right?
The Yankees are busy dealing with the Red Sox and the Dodgers.
So when I think of I also want a good rivalry game to when it's time for them to play. We in that ass. You know what I mean?
Pause.
Touche. Boston Red Sox, not doing Boston. My brother's a Boston fan, just by proxy. Chicago Cubs.
I feel like you're all the things that would make you have a good connection, you're dismissing.
He doesn't want the connection.
You talking about Boston?
Yeah, well, you said your brother's a fan.
Yeah.
No, don't do Boston.
I like we have in-house rivals. Like I was growing up, I was an Oakland Raider fan. He was a San Francisco 49er fan. That's a direct. We was, you know what I mean? But boom, it didn't happen.
Okay, now go back to the Cubs because I liked what you were thinking about the Cubs.
I don't hate the Cubs because it's like a traditional team. I grew up loving Rookie of the Year, Rosenbagger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a good little pull. I don't hate the Cubs. Let's put them on the.
I'm making a list, so we're starting the list with the Cubs.
They got a player that I think you would really enjoy. That's Armstrong.
Okay, I didn't hate the Diamondbacks either. So stash them.
Okay, I'll put them on the list.
Sorry. Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
I was saying he's fast as fuck.
He's the one whose mom is the actress.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's lit. Okay.
All right, Cubs and D-backs, and Cubs obviously will go to Cubs games like when you're here. Awesome ballpark.
And I like the uniforms by the Cubs as well. I fuck with them. All right. White Sox. Not gonna do White Sox.
No.
Well, my stepdad's is from Chicago, and he's a super White Sox fan, so I ain't doing nothing he do.
Okay, they're the worst team. Last year, they set the record for the most losses in the history of baseball.
I did see that. I remember that. Okay. Cincinnati Reds. No feeling.
Frisky. Yeah, but they're out in the middle of,
Yeah, the Reds could be good this year, though.
They do have a very fun, exciting young player.
You are a communist.
Is he from? Where is he from?
I'm not entirely sure where he's from. His name's Ellie De La Cruz.
But he is very fun. He's like, what, 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, and he's just a demon. He 99 speed. He is from the Dominican Republic.
He's awesome.
Oh, little DR. Okay. Nope, not doing the Reds. Cleveland Guardians. Hell no.
Now that
hate the name. What? Hate the logo. Colors are ugly. No.
What'd you think about their old name and logo?
I mean, it's very
what
unwoke of me, but I did like
it. Was a great. It was
I like the Indians. I like the Redskins. Shout out to my natives. Shit knocked though, and I
Guardians
understand
are a very fun team.
You feel different. What?
Very fun team. They're a very fun team.
Oh, no, not happening.
Okay.
I like their manager too, Terry Francona.
That is the old manager.
Oh shit! I got to reset. I got to reset. Jeff Passan coming on Friday is part of my tape.
Terry Francona is now the Reds manager.
Oh shit! Okay, another reason for the Reds.
Not happening. But Colorado Rockies, I don't hate them. I love purple's my favorite color.
Okay, so good uniforms, great ballpark. They are horrific right now. So it's going to be a tough few years.
Hard to
But-
get into at first. Okay.
Yeah, like if you're trying to get into baseball this year and you're watching the Rockies, it's going to be rough.
They're going to be very, very bad this year.
It's gonna be a little rocky. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
want me to put them on the list?
Put them on the list. Put them on the list.
Okay.
Put them on the list. All right. Detroit Tigers. Nope. I hate Old English. The letters. Can't stand it. When
Interesting.
Hate it.
Because they're going to be a fun team, too.
Yeah, they're a frisky club.
I like them.
Don't like it. Sorry. Gotta be able to fuck with the logo. Houston Astros. Nope. Kansas City Royals. I hate that logo as well. Very plain.
Frisky team, though.
When they wear the blues, it looks good.
Have some
but it's
outstanding young prospects.
Very plain. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Los Angeles Angels and Dodgers are out. Not doing anything. LA. That's old San Diego stuff inside of me.
You're a Laker fan.
Good point.
That's different though.
That's a great point, Mad Dog.
When it kind of like football, like that's where it comes from. Like, you know, but just LA, San Diego. But like, San Diego had no basketball team.
What if you became an?
They had the Clippers.
They don't.
They used to.
It's Lake Show. This is what it is. Yeah, this doesn't have it. There's no logic to this, guys. We just try to find Arian a team.
There is no logic.
I feel like you could become a Mike Trout fan, specifically a Mike Trout fan, and root for Mike Trout and the Angels at the start of the season until he either goes on the long-term DL and you don't have to worry about baseball anymore, or he gets traded to a contending team and then you get to start rooting for that team.
What, can he get traded then?
I'm sure he's got a no-trade clause, but at some point Mike Trout has to just be like,
he has
Please.
to.
I'd like to win baseball games. Mike Trout is one of the best baseball players to ever play, and he is just lost constantly through his career because of the front office of his ball club.
Also, best abilities availability. He hasn't stayed out there the whole time either.
I have a theory that maybe Mike Trout would be more available if the team was in contention.
Interesting.
Theoretically.
He's gotten hurt a lot, though.
He
All right,
has,
keep going. Keep going.
All right, we're gonna go next. No, LA teams is out. Miami Marlins, no Miami teams.
You don't want them.
I don't like Miami. No offense to people that live there. It's just that city when I was there. It's just not for me, dog. Love Cuban sandwiches though.
They literally they suck, but they also have like I'm not exaggerating when I say this. There are nights where there's 200 and 300 people there.
But that's why I don't like Miami. Is very like it's the epitome of plastic surgery, Instagram, that vibe. That's Miami, and that's why I don't
sports
like it.
town.
You said what?
Bad sports town.
Horrible sports town. I mean, you had LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. You had one of the best teams of all time, and nobody ever showed up to games except for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Left her in the finals
anyway.
and tried to get back in. People forget that.
Facts. All right. Next, Milwaukee Brewers. I don't hate this one.
Okay. Awesome logo.
I like the logo. Yeah, the logo is fire. Actually, they're in the running for the best creative logo.
It's generally
in
considered
baseball.
like one of the best logos ever.
That shit is hard. A little mitt with the M and the B and the baseball in the middle. Come on, fam. How you not like that? Now they're in the running. Put them on the list.
Yeah.
Also, an hour and a half from here, we can go to Brewers games.
Yep. And
Milwaukee, wonderful city.
they've got a great slide in center field. And multiple people have gotten like broken bones and dislocated shoulders when they try to go down it. It's a crazy slide. The mascot goes down when they hit a home run.
Shout out Bernie.
Yep.
He's a good mascot.
He is, yeah, good mascot.
It's no blooper, but he'll do.
That's true.
And you get to go to the games in the summertime and on the lake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really like it. Yeah, look, the whole vibe I'm fucking with. Put them on the list. Minnesota Twins. Not really fucking with those colors and that logo. I'm out. The Mets. Nah, this team kind of intrigues me a little bit.
Do the Mets. Don't do the Mets.
You should do the Mets.
But I'm just telling you. When I look at the logo, it gives me the Fifis. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
It gives me the feels.
What is the
It's
feels?
You know what the fifis are.
The feels. You get in the feels,
Oh,
man. It's just
okay.
that little you get a little excited when you look at the
Oh,
Mets,
don't
man.
make me put them on this list, dude.
It's
Put 'em on
like
the list,
it's
Big
little,
T.
it's little bro. You know what I'm saying? It's little bro. They'll never be the Yankees, so it's always they always trying to they the underdogs in their own city. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I put them on the list, man.
Oh,
I love that.
You got to team up with
Yeah.
Frank the Tank then.
that's disgusting.
Yankees is out. Yankees is out. Love the logo though. I mean, that's top logo on any sports franchise of all time. One of them. Shout out to Jay-Z for making it famous. The Philadelphia Phillies. No, don't like it.
Okay.
Philly sports fans, dog. You know what I mean? Not into it. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Another
Skeens.
interesting
I like the
one you
black
can
and
get in
yellow.
on the ground floor.
Good stadium.
I
too.
like
Great
the black
ballpark.
and yellow. I like the black and yellow.
Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn.
Gives me the fifis. The uniforms give me the
Okay,
fifis.
Pirates.
So here's one fun fact about the Pirates. They've got the best pitcher in baseball, probably, in Paul Skeens. He started the All-Star game last year in his rookie year. One of the best pitchers in baseball, Cy Young favorite going into this year. They also have a young pitching prospect by the name of Bubba Chandler, who's going to be in their starting rotation this year. The Pirates made an announcement the other day that Paul Skeens would be the starting pitcher for opening day. Made a whole video about it. Apparently, Bubba Chandler texted Paul Skeens and said, "Enjoy this one, because the next opening day is going to be mine, big dog."
No way.
love that.
I love that. I love that they've got a guy that's like, "Fuck you, I'm going to be better than you."
Love it.
That's some
Jared Jones too,
confidence.
who unfortunately I believe just got out for this season, but he's going to be really good too.
San Diego Padres. Hometown, but we're not doing that.
Very hospitable people, outstanding crew over there.
Wonderful.
And Fernando
Wonderful.
Tatis, dude, you would love rooting for Fernando Tatis.
He talked to him
Hey.
during the game.
Arian
Yeah, he gave
drunkenly
me the
told him he
little-
loved his shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
He is the
what a trip
swaggiest.
that was.
and he hits the
Nah.
dick off the ball.
I like when you hit dicks off balls.
Yeah.
Amazing. But no, we're not doing hometown. I wanna have an
Okay.
obscure. We're going for obscure, dog. Like we ain't doing the obvious. All right. San Francisco Giants. Nah, they don't give me. I feel nothing. Although I did like Barry Bonds back in the day, just probably the greatest ever, obviously. Seattle Mariners.
This was my team
Nah.
for you.
Now this I like. When I went to a Seattle's game, I had the dude that does the tickets DM me a while. That's like 3 years ago.
That's
Went
right.
there.
I forgot that.
Went there, gave me the full treatment. I loved the stadium, loved the colors, you know what I mean? Neighborhood Crips. I got a couple of homies that are neighborhood Crips. That's what they wear, those hats. Put them on the list.
Good, young, exciting team as well.
Good food in the ballpark, too.
And I love the city. I really like Seattle. Seattle's I love that city. I had some of the best hot pot I've ever had. Next is the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't hate this team. I'm liking the St. Louis Cardinals. What we feeling with these?
One of my favorite ballparks.
Best
that I've
fans
ever
in
been to.
baseball. That's what they say.
Yeah. Now, if you do become a Cardinals fan, there is kind of a lot that comes along with that.
Okay.
They're generally not beloved.
Give me a football analogous team. Jets?
Maybe
No.
Steelers?
I don't know. It's weird because they were really good for a long time. Now they're not that good. But the fans are very
Philly?
sure of themselves. No,
Oh,
because
P-
Philly's just mean assholes. They're not that.
Okay.
They're not bad.
Cowboys.
They're just
No, because their
No,
fans think
it's-
very highly. I would say Steelers or maybe Packers.
Packers is a good comparison.
They think they own baseball.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say Packers is good.
Okay.
But incredible ballpark. Historically great team. Not so great
them on
right
the
now,
list.
so it's not like you're Okay.
Put them on the list. Put them on the list. I like I love the logo, and I love the
Good logo.
colors and the uniforms. I'm fucking with it. Yeah, fucking with it. Tampa Bay Rays, horrible logo. Hell no.
Yeah, you don't want them.
No.
I like
Texas
the Devil
Rangers.
Rays.
The Devil Rays.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used
They
to
used to be yeah. I remember that. Texas Rangers. Nah, not feeling that. Toronto Blue Jays. Nah, it's America Jack.
Hell yeah. One of the best things you've ever said. Keep it in-house.
Washington Nationals, we out of that. So run back the list.
All right, so the final list. Arian loves the NL Central. We have the Cubs, Diamondbacks, Rockies, Brewers, Mets, Pirates, Mariners, and Cardinals. Let's narrow it down to, let's do a top 3.
Okay. Let me look at some uniforms here. Okay.
I'll send you the list.
This is so fun. This is like girls who pick their March Madness bracket
based off of how cute the point guard is.
And then
Vibes.
they like win $1 million.
Yeah.
Based off vibes, bro. We still owe Maddie, by the way,
that.
a whole fifth of crown. All of us. We ain't never settled that debt because she won the bracket like a couple years back.
One of these days, we'll make up for it.
I just keep forgetting. I ain't in the city, or else I would have squared that debt.
You're also
what's
accruing
the first
some interest.
Huh?
That's true.
You're accruing some
also-
interest. We may need to have some together, have some fun night.
Oh, all day. Let's do that.
Okay.
I have my guess as to what Arian's top 3 is going to be.
All right, give me the first. Is we got Diamondbacks.
I texted you the list.
Oh, even better. Okay, there we go. Oh, Cubs was first. Okay. Well, I'm already on Diamondbacks, so here, let's look at this. Oh, that's kind of plain. I'm not loving the teal here. Nah, Diamondbacks are out. No. Is the D a rattlesnake? Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Nope. We're out. Diamondbacks out. Next would be the Rockies, Colorado Rockies. Okay.
I predict that
uniforms.
if Arian selects the Rockies, he will last 2 weeks.
Ooh. Hold on. What is this green? Is this new?
What are you
Green and
looking at?
purple?
Oh, the mountain logo?
Yeah, it's like this little green uniform. Is it like a throwback?
Oh, that's their City Connect.
Yeah, every team has a City Connect jersey, which is like the alternate.
It's a very NBA type.
Yeah, okay. Wait,
deal.
when you look at it, clearly it's not. I like the black and purple. The green is throwing me off, especially when they have purple with the green. That's not. I'm out on the Rockies. Yeah, the greens. Nope, you lost a fan there. They lost a fan. Good job, Rockies. Whoever made that silly ass decision. Milwaukee Brewers. Here we go. Brewers 25 unis. All right.
They have good uniforms.
Ooh, navy blue and yellow. Ooh, that shit kind of smooth. I like that. And I've never been to Milwaukee either.
You would like it in the summer.
Me neither. I'm going for the Brave series this year, though. Come on up.
I'm fucking with the hats, dog. Keep them on the list. Let's see, the Mets. Why were you so against the Mets?
Because he's a Braves fan.
They're the Braves' biggest division rival.
Sworn rival. It would be very fun if you were a Mets fan, though.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Mm-hmm. Get to go up against Big T.
They've never won shit. They think they're like God's gift to baseball. They never win anything. They're terrible. You don't want to do that. I promise.
They got Juan Soto this year.
Bad ballpark.
Oh, they did get
Yeah, the ballpark's not bad. I went there.
Good food at the ballpark.
Queens,
Yes.
those okay, but these uniforms though,
Cookies.
They actually just unveiled a bucket of chocolate chip cookies, of 20 warm chocolate chip cookies for $15 this year.
That's a pretty
and
good deal.
that's I would be intrigued by that, but
hey, bro, look, the contrast with the gray and the blue and the orange, that's tactful. That is nice, dog. I'll keep them on the list.
give me a fucking break. They're Florida colors.
It's nice, dog. What do you want? Like that?
No.
Florida has nice colors, cuz. Like, what do you want to say?
All right, keep going.
Hits Pirates uniforms.
You'll like the Pirates uniforms.
Oh God, that black and yellow's tough, dog. Jeez. With the PGH now, that's their city thing.
Yeah. Ignore all those. Those are like none of them are very good.
That one's nice. I like it. That one hits me because in San Diego, my high school colors were black and yellow. We were the Mission Bay Buccaneers, and this gives me that vibe. Gives me a lot of this gives me a lot of Fifi. So keep them on the list. We're gonna keep them on the list. Oh man, it's tough picking a team, dog. How did y'all pick y'all's team?
It's where we
I
grew
was
up.
born in Georgia.
It's the hometown thing.
Oh, that's the one I said no to. You know why Seattle give me good feelings too? I grew up never really watching baseball, but being a huge fan of Ken Griffey.
Yep.
Mhm.
He had like the sweetest swing, dog. That shit looks so sweet. Yeah, you gotta keep Seattle on the list there too. Last one is Cardinals. Let's see.
I will say some of the
Cardinals.
best uniforms in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals.
The bird's just chilling on the bat.
Their white is extra white. I don't know how they do it, but it's whiter than the rest.
They got a good bleach guy.
Yeah, and the red and the yellow bat just pops. Great home uniform.
Not in love with it.
Really?
Don't think it's bad. Don't think it's bad. I think one bird would have did. They have two birds. One bird on the bat would have hit.
They
Too
do have a
many
hat
birds.
with one bird.
Too many birds on the uni. I'm out on the Cardinals.
Wow, okay. So we're down to
I'm out on the
5.
Cardinals. Damn, what? I thought I narrowed it down more than that. Where we at?
No, you like too many uniforms.
Cubs, Brewers, Mets, Pirates, Mariners.
All right, let's take Cubs, Brewers, Mets, Pirates, Mariners. Cubs, Brewers. Let's take the Cubs out.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, we're taking the Cubs out.
Any reason?
When you lay them all against each other, when you line it up, when you lining the ladies up, some just look better than
Okay.
one look better in club light. So now we got Brewers, Mets, Pirates, Mariners. I'm really leaning towards Brewers here.
Have one of my favorite players in baseball, William Contreras. Close drive from here.
Well, what's the? Let me look at the stadiums real quick. Brewers stadiums.
Theirs isn't going to wow you.
It's nice.
It's good.
Looks nice. American Family
after
Field.
Beer makers.
I fuck with families.
Yep. Shout out to families.
Shout out to families.
I still call it Miller Park, but
That looks nice. Right now, I'm leaning towards Brewers and Mets.
no.
Brewers.
You're
Brewers,
leaning.
Mets,
You're leaning
Pirates.
between
Top
good
3.
and evil.
Brewers,
Mets, Pirates.
Brewers, Mets,
Wow. Okay.
Pirates.
Mariners are out.
Let's see.
Just please don't. The Brewers is everything you're looking for.
I feel like you're making it worse.
The more Big T pushes him
Exactly.
towards the Brewers, he's like,
The Mets.
What do you feel
Mets
about
have-
PNC Park?
I haven't been, but it's number 1 on my list to get to. Everybody, it's generally regarded as like a top 3.
it's a great ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah.
They do a pierogi race.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody except Big T.
Yep.
What do you feel about the Met Stadium?
The Mets Stadium, it's okay. There's a lot
I believe
of
you have been there with us.
Yeah, you have. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I'm trying to get
advertisements.
the vibes.
It's like product signs everywhere. Good food. Not the easiest place in the world to get to.
That's true. You got to take the train.
You gotta take the
If
train
we're
out there.
talking New York baseball stadiums, I like Yankee Stadium better.
It's like standard, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. They got the closer that does the trumpets.
There's
love
nothing
that.
really like tradition about it, I'd say.
Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Yeah.
Mrs. Met is caked up. Arian, look at a picture
And
of
an older woman.
look at a picture of
I've seen
Mrs.
So
Met.
true.
I've seen her before.
I'm familiar with her work.
The big apple in her
Um,
pants.
Jesus.
Apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
Executive decision. I feel like the universe is who does the Mets? Who does the Mets? That sounds so funny. Who do the Mets? That's better. Who do the Mets play opening day?
It's a good question.
They play the Astros
Okay.
in Houston.
Who-
You could go to their game tomorrow.
That's true.
All right. Who do the Pirates play opening day?
Pirates.
I think they're playing the Marlins.
They are playing the Marlins in Miami. Or sorry,
Okay,
yeah,
see?
Miami.
I think the universe is talking to me here. The Brewers play the Yankees opening day, and this is how I'm picturing it. This is the universe talking to me, right? I'm not fucking with the Astros, right? And so the Mets you said the Mets are playing the Astros here, right?
Yeah.
So that's telling me, nah, we don't like the Astros for a reason. Opening day, we're not doing it. The Marlins were out too, so we're not doing that. The Yankees are baseball, right? So this is like the opening day, Brewers versus Yankees. This is your introduction to baseball. The universe has told me that the Brewers are now my squad. I'm following.
Love to hear
Okay,
that.
all right.
Love to hear that. Good pick.
I
Good pick.
thought you were going to say it was going to be the Mets because
I thought so
you could
too.
go to the game, you could wear
Same.
Mets gear to the game.
No,
But-
no.
Okay,
it's
so
telling me.
Aaron,
This is exciting.
Welcome to the Brew
if you're
Crew.
if you're going to get into the brew, you got to get the hat, you got to get jerseys, you got to be watching the games.
I'm getting Arian a William Contreras jersey right now.
I love that free shit. I'm about to follow
Christian
the Brewers on all
Yelich, you'll
socials.
love him.
Yeah. Christian Yelich, friend of PFT's other program.
Yeah.
yeah.
Christian Yelich, good guy.
So handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Good
is my
teeth.
man's? Hold on, B. This might be even more universe talking to me, dog. Is he? Hold on.
What?
Who is it?
Who?
During the game, during practice, I think he is Julio Bourbon, Bourbon or Bourbon. I went to college with
Or
him,
Bone. Yeah, he went to UT.
and yes, he went to UT, and he was who I was gonna use for the baseball question in the car. So I hit him after my man Matt Bush didn't answer because I think he may be. I don't know if he's a judge. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
didn't talk about that.
I don't know. I don't know. That's the homie. Though. But I was like, I know somebody else that went to the MLB, and it was Julio, and Julio. That was my dog. Does he coach for the Brewers?
It says he's the first base coach. Yeah.
Oh, that's
See,
awesome.
that's what I'm saying. Okay, because I was gonna call him. He's like, hey, I'm on a flight. We play the Yankees opening day, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, cool, that's what's up. And I just now realized, I was like, hold on, he said something about the Yankees opening day, and so like Julio went to Tennessee, coaches for. I can get nigga, we on. That's the universe.
We got a
Can't
connection.
argue.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Can't argue.
All right, well,
I am now
welcome to the
Brewers
Brew Crew.
Officially, what do they call themselves? Are they like the Brews?
The Brew
the
Crew.
Brew Crew.
The Brew Crew. I'm following on all socials right now.
This was so exciting.
Yeah, maybe you could throw out a first pitch.
I need to redeem myself.
Yeah, you do. You
That was
do.
deep in it. All right, I am now a Brewers fan.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pumped.
This is fun.
Followed.
And Ari, if you go to games, you got to be decked head to toe in Brewers gear. You're gonna need
just gonna get a hat.
sunglasses to wear. If you
Just
wear
gonna get a hat.
sunglasses, wear Shady Rays.
Oh,
Get ready
okay.
for your next adventure. These shades are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is a proudly independent sunglasses company offering top-tier quality that rivals even the most expensive brands. Their durable frames, crystal clear optics are perfect for every outdoor moment. It is sunglasses season right now. Get stocked up for the summertime. I got my Shady Rays right here. Wear them every single day. Here's the best part. If the shades go MIA, if they take a hit, don't sweat it. They've got lost and broken protection so you can get covered from day one. Not sure if Shady Rays is the right fit for you? No worries. If you don't love them, you can exchange or return them for free within 30 days. Shopping with Shady Rays is truly risk-free. Their team always has your back, personal and fast support. Upgrade your eyewear game today. See why Shady Rays is the go-to choice for every moment under the sun. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays has their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com, use code MACRO for 35% off. All right, Arian is a Brewers fan. Brew Crew, shout out. Looking forward to where you go with that. You have to follow through, though, Arian. I don't want you tapping out.
I followed all of them on socials. I was looking for hats. I usually go to Amazon. Shout out to the world's greatest capitalist, Jeff Bezos. But all they had was the bendy Jones. I like the fitted Jones. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go to the Brewers website, pick me out some gear, and I'm in this bitch. Let's go.
All right. Shout out Brew Crew. We got Big T's news of the day today. First of all, Big T, you teed off about anything?
No, I mean, what a wonderful week. Opening day, Sweet 16, TBD on that one. But no, it's a springtime is in the air.
It is.
Starting to get a little warmer.
I saw that it's going to be up in the 60s again this weekend, and then the next day it's going to snow maybe.
That sounds about right.
And then next Friday, 79.
Oh.
79.
Okay.
We're so back.
Day before the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. You guys would have Houston in the Elite Eight, right?
Yeah, but that's this weekend.
Yep. And then San Antonio for the Final Four. You would play Duke
or
BYU, Alabama.
Yeah. We're not. There's no discussion of Final Four. We have one game in front of us.
Okay, I like that. Good mindset.
Yeah, I don't engage in that.
In speculation. Yep, smart move. So on your sheet, the news of the day today. Do we want to talk about the Signal Houthi Yemeni war plans? Because that happened during Monday's taping, and we were so locked into the lottery ball and naming guys that we didn't get a chance to touch on it. Because I saw that Dave had a rant this morning. I have also a rant that I would like to go on regarding the Signal group chat that Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic was added to. I'm peed off. PF teed off about this. Why are we using F-18s? Why are we going to use an F-18? We've got F-35s that are made for the carrier. They can take off from the aircraft carriers. They, in addition to carrying a significant payload, they also can utilize stealth technology, which would make them invisible or barely visible to enemy radar, air defenses, surface-to-air missile sites, enemy AAA. Why are we going with the F-18s? I know that Tom Cruise flew one in the most recent Top Gun. It looked awesome. F-18's been I'm not disparaging F-18s, by the way. They've done a great job over the years. Been one of the staples of our Navy, and they've accomplished a lot over the years. But we got the F-35, and I know we don't have a ton of them that are enabled for the carrier, but we should be using the F-35, in my opinion, for that. My real rant, though, is why was I not added to the group chat? Like, I just want to see. I want to know. Like, Americans have a lot of questions, specifically, when will this mission be available as downloaded content that you can play in Digital Combat Simulator? What did the planes look like? Did they have cool paint jobs on them? What were the liveries? Did the pilots wear the cool helmet-mounted display cams where they can target by looking away from the HUD? These are the questions that America wants to know the answers to, and we frankly don't have those answers yet.
What are our top 3 strike-capable aircraft?
Oh, buddy, I think that we could have used, matter of fact, F-15E Strike Eagles.
Okay, that's
they don't take off
awesome name.
They don't take off from aircraft carriers. They're land-based, but these things can carry a fuckload of missiles, so they can do air-to-air, and they can track enemy targets as far away as like 100 miles, 150 miles. They can go air-to-air. They can also deliver significant payload air-to-ground, which also the F-18 can do. It's capable of both those things. But I would have planned for probably some EAG Growlers. They're electronic warfare planes. They go in there. They fire a bunch of radiation at the enemy radar sites, wipe those out so they can't track you. Then after those, then we send in the F-15E Strike Eagles.
Little 1-2 combo.
And they drop a fucking payload on you.
Nice.
They blow your ass to smithereens. Then we have some F-35, the carrier version, come in, and they clean up the mess afterwards. That's what I personally would have done if I were in that situation. But I was not added to the Signal group chat. I would have loved to be in that group chat just so I could ask a bunch of questions about the cool planes that we get to use. Jeffrey Goldberg was invited to the group chat, which is maybe the last guy that you would want to invite. I'll put this in football terms. This is like if the Browns accidentally added Adam Schefter to their draft prep, their draft war room group chat that they've got going on. And then he was like, you guys sure you want me in here? And then Adam Schefter leaves the group chat and everyone's like, fuck, we didn't say exactly who we're going to draft. Not a good look for U.S. military, for the Department of Defense, and for Michael Waltz, the National Security Advisor, to be adding Jeffrey Goldberg, a journalist that definitely does not like the Trump administration. They added him to the group chat, and then he stuck in there for like a day because he says that he wasn't sure if it was legit, and then he left after he found out that it was legit because the strike happened. And then you get a notification, I guess. I don't have Signal. I don't use Signal. Do you guys use Signal?
No, but I would assume it's like on an iMessage, if someone leaves a group chat, it has a little thing on there. It says so-and-so left.
It does, yeah. That from everything that I've read, it pops that in there for you. And it also says when people are added to the group chat. So, and who added them. So Michael Waltz apparently added Jeffrey Goldberg to this group chat as they were planning how they were going to strike against the Houthi rebels, which are located in Yemen, and they've been firing rockets and shit at a bunch of cargo ships and really making life tough for any sort of transcontinental shipping that's going on in that part of the world. So they decide to make a strike on them. The group chat happens. Jeffrey Goldberg finds out about it, waits a few days, tries to get comment from the people that were involved, and then writes an article where he has screenshots of the group chat. He left out the actual war planning stuff from his initial article, and then they said that he was a hoaxer, and they claimed that he was making stuff up, that there wasn't any actual planning going on. So then he released the rest of the group chat, which shows the planning of using F-18s when they're going to be striking, that whole thing. So I don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be any people that get fired, if there's resignations, if people are just going to kind of be like, yeah, tough shit, deal with it. This happened. I've seen a bunch of people, I think it was Hegseth, say that like Goldberg is a scumbag and that he should have like left the group chat and that nothing bad was being disclosed. The big issue is why they were using Signal to begin with, because you can use Signal in the government if you're just like talking about very generic things back and forth. But for like an airstrike and dropping all this information, all these details in there, feels like that's a pretty big breach of security. And so they're going to have to try to figure out what they do moving forward with that. That's kind of where we're at right now. But
why would you,
the last guy that you would want to invite?
Like if I'm in his shoes, right? What's his name? Jeff Goldberg?
Yep.
I'm staying in that group as long as I possibly can.
So I was going to say, you either have to leave immediately or stay in the whole time.
I'm staying in as long as they crafting plans. Absolutely. And then I'm putting together an entire, like, he just wrote like a quick little, because he wanted to get it out fast. But bro, I'm putting together, because this is a huge security breach for national security, right? Like, how you fuck that up, I have no idea. That's a wild thing to do. You said, that's a great analogy with leaving Adam Schefter in the draft room prep. That shit's funny as shit. But I'm staying in there and seeing how much military intel they're deploying on this app, which I think they use it because it's encrypted. Signal, to my knowledge, is encrypted, kind of like WhatsApp. So it's but if you add somebody, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, you're inviting everybody to the party. But I'm staying in there as long as possible and getting as much info as I can, and then whenever they kick me out, or when the chat goes dead, or when the administration is done, then you come out with a detailed report about like, this is how bad this is.
Well, I think my guess is that Goldberg talked to the lawyers at the Atlantic, and he was like, how do I handle this? I'm not sure if it's real. And they said, you should probably get out of it if you think that it's real, because there are laws that could incriminate you if you choose knowingly to stick around and receive classified information.
Well, he didn't do it.
Is that, yeah, you invited me
he
in.
Didn't put himself in there.
Yeah,
right. But I think if you know that you're receiving information that you shouldn't be getting, and you continue to stay in it, I think that his lawyers probably told him they could try to twist this law and go after you.
Nobody could ever get convicted of that.
I don't know.
What is the law? What's the law that they cite? Because if you're inviting me to the party, you don't get mad because I'm here. You can't convict me because I'm here. You invited me.
Espionage, the Espionage Act. So
let's look it up.
So there was a guy that worked in the CIA by the name of John Kiriakou. I think we've been trying to get him on the pod. We've reached out to him, but he was in the CIA. He's the only person that ever went to prison for the CIA torture stuff back in Iraq. He went to prison for that, not because he partook in it, but because he was a whistleblower. And so he passed along, like he confirmed the name of somebody to a journalist that was involved in this. And they took that and they threw him in jail. They threw him in prison, federal prison. And so, like, I think if you're a good lawyer, you would probably tell your client, like, better safe than sorry when it comes to receiving classified information.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Criminalized and unauthorized retention and dissemination of sensitive information that could undermine U.S. national defense or aid a foreign nation. Now, if this is the case, if we can criminalize, if we can criminalize somebody receiving it or garnering the information, then we can also and should also criminalize the giving of it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely against the law for sure.
Right. So whoever allowed him in the group chat should also have this, be held to the same account as he could have been under the Espionage Act.
Yeah, I think if you're a rank and file member of the military and you had sent this by mistake to a journalist, you would go to prison.
Yeah.
They would put you on trial. But if you're an appointed person, it's a little bit different. And there's a question of, will they bring charges, that whole thing. And especially if your defense is, I did it as a mistake. Or it sounded like Waltz was saying last night that he was claiming that Goldberg's name was changed to somebody else. I think that's the line of defense that they're going with. It could be whatever staffer put this together had Goldberg's name saved in his phone as somebody else because he was leaking information.
He said no staffer was involved.
Okay, so it was him.
Yeah, he said he's the one that made the group. And he said that his contacts may have been
changed.
He said when you dump contacts in and they're like a number is under a different name. It was a little bit funky. Yeah, it was a little bit funky. But he was like, I think he was trying to say like when your iCloud, like when you have share an iCloud like with your wife or something. But like, why would your wife have Jeffrey Goldberg's gun? Like something like that.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that somebody was leaking info to Jeffrey Goldberg, put his name in as somebody else in their phone, and then it caught up to them when they put him in the group chat. That's a possibility. Mm-hmm. But this is why you don't use Signal to plan an airstrike. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that. If you're in the military and you get caught doing that, you are going to prison. You're going to be in big trouble. Also, fun little additional fact about this Waltz guy. Somebody found, I think about a month ago, that he was following. What was the Twitter handle that he was following? It was like Big Dick Bottoms.
Yes.
On Twitter, and then he unfollowed them once people figured out that he was following this guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to actually press charges. It sounds like they're circling the wagons and being like, this is an attack by the radical left wing media on us. But yeah, this is the last guy that you would want to involve.
I always like to look at it like the way my worldview is, right? So I like to look at it through the lens of the other side. And I can imagine if it was a Joe Biden administration and the same thing happened. If we have receipts, you invited a right-wing publicist to a group chat for a military strike. Oh my God. They'd be calling for impeachment. They'd be called this administration is they'd be doing the same thing. But because I don't think the right and the left wing treat each other the same. So they're going to blow it off. They're going to say it's fake news. They're going to say, I highly doubt that this administration is going to hold this administration accountable. That it would surprise me. It would surprise me.
I feel like Waltz he's got to go, right?
Trump said that he supports him.
And
Hegseth.
I don't know if Trump has been. It was funny yesterday. He was like, "This is the first I'm hearing of it," which is a great line that he's used a couple times. But he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I know that the Atlantic is a failing organization."
That's what I'm saying, bro. They'll do that. He's gonna keep doing that shit.
It'd be funny if Trump was just like, nobody ever tell me the details about this. That way I can just say like, I don't know anything about it. I haven't been briefed on it. Say that for years and years and years. Big T, what do we think? What do we think happened here? And do we think it's serious?
I don't understand the first part of your question. What do we think happened here?
What do we think happened?
Remarkably clear.
So what I just said is that's what you think happened.
That he added the guy to the group chat accidentally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think should happen?
I have no idea.
I feel like
Imagine Joe Biden's administration did this. Then what do you think should happen?
I don't know. I would say it's bad. Like, I would say it's bad that it happened now. I have no precedent of consequences for, like, if that guy got fired, like, okay, fine.
I think
I don't know.
I think the worst part in this is that they were using Signal to do it, which there's a reason why they don't use Signal to do
I
this
thought
sort of
like
thing.
you couldn't have a phone and like text and shit if you were that high up in the government.
Yeah, there's certain things that you can't do.
Like I remember Obama one time was like, I have a phone, but it's like there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris said she wasn't allowed to text in like iMessage when she was vice president.
I've heard that this was done on his personal cell phone. I don't know if that's true. That's just one thing that I've read, so it could very well not be true. But I've heard that it was done using Signal, which, yeah, as Arian says, is encrypted, but also there's ways that you can get the fucking editor-in-chief of The Atlantic got into it. So using Signal, not a good idea for this. And yeah, I think Waltz will eventually go down for it, but I don't know.
We'll see. I doubt it, but it's a fuck up for sure.
Imagine that notification when it says Jeffrey Goldberg has left this conversation. Like the behind the scenes shit that went on. The other line that I've seen a lot of people that were on this group chat using is that nothing serious was discussed. It wasn't anything super classified. There was no battle plan. There was no war plan. I mean, I read enough of it. There's pretty specific things in there that definitely should not have been discussed.
Well, by his logic, it wouldn't say Jeffrey Goldberg left the conversation, right? It would say somebody else.
Yeah.
His excuse is he had somebody else with that contact name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I also saw that there was one member of the group chat that was either on his way to Russia or in Russia at the time to do negotiations with the Putin administration about ending the war in Ukraine. That he was either on his way there or in the country while this Signal chat was happening. In which case, that's bad. That's very bad.
To have that out, yeah. Well, so, but, I mean, that's my very quick reading of the Espionage Act. I don't know all the different nuances of all that. You know, I don't, by no means an expert. But if his lawyers advised him to get out, why would they not advise him to not publicize all the information that he had before he got out? Could you not make that same argument?
When he published it, he took out all the stuff that could be construed to be like planning the actual attack. So he didn't publish that in the initial report. And then everybody that was in that group chat said there wasn't anything discussed. We don't think that he's got any classified info, anything that would put members of the military in harm's way. And then he was like, okay, well, here's the stuff that I didn't publish. And then he published that.
That's what I'm saying. So why would it, if I mean, I feel like you can make the same argument that they were just calling his bluff. He called their bluff. If they want to prosecute him, I mean, they technically can under that. But I don't know. That's slippery shit. I wouldn't like know about as far as being able to prosecute somebody for that. But if I had an inkling of me getting prosecuted for shit like that, I wouldn't have published anything.
I think that it was newsworthy because they were using channels that were outside of approved channels to do this type of planning.
Definitely. I don't disagree with his reasoning. I'm just saying if I'm not going to jail. I've been to jail once. I will never go back.
You probably have firmer legal ground to stand on to release the whole thing after they publicly say that you're lying about the contents of it.
That would be libel, I guess. Yeah, I mean that'd be an interesting court case to look at if they ever do.
So could you, in theory, if you're the President Arian, and there's somebody that you don't, it's pretty good. If there's someone you don't like, you just send them classified information to their phone, and then you're like, "Gotcha, you've got classified information on your phone, Espionage Act."
Yeah, no, I understand. Like I said, I don't know. There's nuance behind every law, and so I don't know the details behind it. So I don't know because you
put myself in old Donnie's shoes right now, and knowing the way that he thinks, I wouldn't be shocked if he was like, Jeffrey Goldberg is actually a traitor and he's the bad guy in the situation. He held on to this classified information and then published it, and then threatened him as a show of strength to be like, we're considering going after you for the Espionage Act.
It's a reach, but it would set a horrible precedent. You're 1,000% correct.
Oh yeah, I don't think that he's going to prosecute. I don't think that Jeffrey Goldberg's going to get prosecuted, but you can say, again, as a show of strength in his mind, like, we're going to go on the attack.
So the Obama administration did something similar to that with the whistleblower. What's his name?
Snowden.
Yes, they to this day, if you ask Obama about Snowden, they're like, yeah, he breached national security. Yeah, but you were spying on people. So it's like,
yeah,
it's a similar precedent in my opinion, which I think is bullshit. By the way, I think he did what he was. I think he did his civic duty by blowing that whistle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. That's not above my pay grade, dog. I just figured out how to shadow my club. So.
Well, in the future, if any members of the Trump administration listen to this program, please include me on the war planning group chats
to take me out.
I'll just interject with shit like, tell me about the F-22's AIM 260 AMRAAMs. Are they cool?
I really think we need F-18s here, fellas. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been better or worse if they included PFT commenter rather than a Washington Post journalist who hates Trump?
Better.
Way better.
But it would have looked worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
The outcome probably would have been better, but if it got out, it would look worse.
Yeah, like, what's this asshole doing?
Yeah, like,
how does
PFT
anybody in the administration have this guy's number?
Right.
Yeah.
What would you have done if they added you?
If they add me to the group chat, well, I don't have Signal, so it would have been like, who put Signal on my phone?
Okay.
And then I would have started trolling the group chat almost immediately. Almost immediately. Once I saw Marco Rubio, once I saw Tulsi Gabbard, once I saw Pete Hegseth in there, I probably would have sent a picture of my balls.
Nice.
Or my shit. I would have taken a shit and then been like, this is a real mess. We got to clean this up. I don't know if MK82s are enough to handle this.
But would you have publicized it?
Yeah, I think I would publicize it like immediately.
On which show?
Macrodosing.
Love that.
Because it would have happened during an episode of Macrodosing.
That's true. Well, it had presumably happened the day or two before.
Talk about some breaking news. That shit would be hilarious. Why is Tulsi texting me right now?
I think within a minute, I would start taking a shit, and then I would take a picture of the shit when I was done, send it immediately, and then take some screenshots of it. And then
shit on command?
I would, in that situation, yeah. When the lights are bright, it's like,
put the ball in my hands.
That's the most important shit that I'll ever have to take in my life.
Yeah.
And I would dump out a nasty one, and then within 30 seconds of that, I would screenshot it and then post it online.
I'm from Baltimore. Give me the fucking ball.
That's right. That's what I would say. Also, more big news, and it's not really news, but for some reason it is going very viral right now. a declassified CIA document claims that the Ark of the Covenant was discovered in 1988.
So I saw that,
CIA.
and I was gonna include it, and then I looked into it a little bit, and I mean, obviously, I guess people are talking about it now, but that came out in 2021.
It was actually declassified in 2004.
Yeah, I saw shit about it from years ago.
Yeah, this has been out there, so I don't know why it's going like reviral. Who brought it to the surface? And I read about it, and there was a thing in the CIA called Project Sunstreak back in the day, like the 80s, and it was this thing called remote viewing. Have you guys ever heard of remote viewing?
I think we discussed it briefly at one point.
We probably have, yeah. So it's where they take a psychic and they put the psychic in a room, and then the psychic focuses really hard, and they try to put themselves someplace else in the world to see something. And the CIA tried to get involved with this. And the psychic claimed just a couple years after Raiders of the Lost Ark came out that they were in a room and they could see the Ark of the Covenant, and they described what it looked like and where it was. And that's pretty much the end of it. That's the end of the story. So that was declassified in 2004, I believe. And then shortly thereafter, it was like published in the National Archives or wherever they keep that sort of thing. Then more people gradually find out about it. And now today it went reviral, and people are claiming that the CIA has the Ark of the Covenant. I don't believe that. That's not what the document says. The document says that some person was locked in a room and they said that they saw the Ark of the Covenant and described what it looked like someplace else in the world. So that's where we're at right now.
I used to believe in psychics. I really did. I thought that there were people out there that had access to other realms, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then I slowly became unconvinced. And I think what the last one, and it could have been a bad psychic, but the last one was, it was 2012. I had just signed my $40 million deal with the Houston Texans. And I was like, I'm going to go to psychic to see what, you know what I'm saying? To see what is popping. We were out in some shopping center, and it was like psychic reading. So I went to the psychic reading, and this lady sits me down and she's doing my cards and she's telling me I had troubles in my past. Good guess. She's telling me all this stuff. She's like, I know right now you have some financial issues. You're having some trouble right now. And I was like, actually, it's the best it's ever been, man. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one inaccurate.
Did you give her the specifics?
No, I let her cook, man. I was like, yeah, it's tougher. No, I ain't gonna lie, dog. Yeah, I let her cook. I don't want to make her. I'm not an asshole, you know. I don't want to make her feel bad. I didn't want to call her out, but yeah. And then I slowly there was this dude. What's his name? Randy something. Because I got interested in the topic, and he was a magician that he turned his life's work into proving mediums, psychics, and those people in the churches who like bless people and like the Holy Ghost type shit. He made his life work to call them out on their charlatan acts. And he had an open, I think, yeah, it was like $1 million. If you can, under his, I guess he would set the stage. You have to follow these guidelines. If you do it under these conditions, you get $1 million. And every single time, you know, they're like, oh, I'm just not feeling it right now. Or it's because he knows their tricks.
Yeah. His life's work was debunking psychics.
Mm-hmm. And mediums. And that's the main thing to me that really got me to not believe, was that he explained what mediums do and it's called like cold reading. Yeah. And they'll just go to a crowd and be like, does anybody have like an M relative? I'm feeling an M, no M, maybe as an N. And so they're like, oh yeah, name Nancy. Like, oh, did they have like some kind of chest, did they get that chest, heart, arm, head? They'll do that. And they'll be like, yes, yeah. And it's just like a cold reading. So they don't know what they're talking about. They just fish for information without making it look like they're fishing. And that to me was my turning point. I was like, that shit is deceitful. So because people that have lost somebody, they're looking for reasons, they're looking for signs, and you're pretending to provide it, and you're pretending to provide comfort to people. To me, that's evil, kind of, dog. That's so disgusting from like people who are mourning. And so that's what that took me all the way out of it.
John Edward did that too. or was it John Edwards? I know John Edwards was a politician, but there was another psychic, the crossing over guy. He claimed to be a medium, and he would have these big group meetings, and then he would find somebody and claim to talk to their dead relative. And what he would do, this is really scummy, he would have camera crews outside in the line waiting to get in, and people would be interviewed out there. The camera crews would say they were either with the news or they were doing a documentary. They would interview the people, be like, what are you here for? Are you trying to talk to anybody in your past? And then they would get answers from people that were waiting in line and then feed those to John Edwards.
That shit is gross.
And then he would use that in the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
Yeah, that shit is gross, man. James Randi was his name. James Randi.
That's right. And this remote viewing thing is such a funny setup. It's like clearly psychics scamming the CIA. I think we paid hundreds of millions of dollars, or at least tens of millions of dollars, in stuff like this and Project Stargate back in the day, which was also to kind of just convince the Russians that we had this capability, and so they would spend money on it too.
I don't mind initially, I guess, just looking into it, investigating it. Like, I think now it's a waste of time, but like back in the days, we don't really know what humans are capable of, right? You know, let's run some tests and stuff like that. But like nowadays, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, Nancy Reagan had a White House astrologer.
It's wild.
Yeah. They used to give her and Ronnie some advice in the White House.
Good old Nancy, huh?
Good old Nancy, yeah.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. The absolute GOAT. Now, if I got added to a Signal group chat with Nancy Reagan, I'm staying in that bitch.
Never know what's going down.
What that neck do, Nancy? Yeah, just for once in my life, I would like to be added to a secret war planning group chat. That'd be cool. What do you think the picture for that group chat would be? Just a plane?
Probably an F-18.
Probably an F-18. And don't get me, I like the F-18 Hornet. I don't want this to come off like I'm disparaging the F-18 Hornet. It's been a great
What's
plane.
the best, like, Hornet or the Eagle, Super Eagle?
The F-15E Strike Eagle.
Strike Eagle. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to beat. Do we have any other cooler, like, names?
The F-16 is the Fighting Falcon.
Okay, it's not as good
or
as
the
Strike
Viper.
Eagle.
It's got two names.
Okay.
The F-15 is just the Eagle. The Strike Eagle is a cooler name.
Right.
F-14 Tomcat.
Ugh.
But it's the GOAT. Like, it's F-14, awesome.
That needs a better name.
F-22 Raptor.
Good.
F-35 Lightning.
Fine.
F-5 Tiger.
Bad.
F-4 Phantom.
Fine.
What else am I leaving out here? F-100 Super Sabre.
Good.
F-111 Aardvark.
Terrible.
Terrible name for the Aardvark. Those are the modern ones. Like Vietnam and further.
Okay.
So we think the Strike Eagle.
Strike Eagle.
Best
for
name.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I would agree that's a cool name. It's like the F-15 Eagle is great, but this is the Strike Eagle.
Right.
Because it can hit air to ground too.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yep. Ask me which one I'm the best at flying.
All of them.
All of them. Exactly. There's also the A-10 Warthog.
Yep.
The A-10 Lightning. Oh, no, sorry. Fuck. I screwed that up. The A-10 Warthog and the A-10 Thunderbolt.
Bad.
Okay. You don't like the Warthog?
No, like that. No. It's got to be something sick.
Okay. A6. What is the A4 is the Skyhawk?
It's got to be some kind of predator.
Yes.
Yeah. The A6 might be the Intruder.
Is there any kind of hawk?
Hawk,
eagle. Ooh, a dragon would be fire name.
The J-20, the Chinese aircraft, is the I think it's the J-20 Dragon.
Now we're talking. Yeah, give me some mythical predators.
Now we also give names out to opposing planes, like the J-20 Dragon, the Mighty Dragon. Excuse me. We gave that name, even though it's Chinese. So the Chinese have a different name for it. We do that with all the other ones too. So with like the Russian-made planes, the MiGs, There's the MiG-23 Flogger. There is the the Su-25 Frogfoot.
Horrible.
Yeah. So we give them like shitty names for their airplanes.
Yeah.
One of them is the Foxbat too.
I don't hate Foxbat. Foxbat kind of sounds military-ish.
You know what a good one is? The Su-57. That's the one at the end of the new Top Gun where Maverick is flying home in the old-ass plane and the two fifth-generation planes come up next to him. Those are Su-57s, I think. Those are the Su-57 Felons.
I don't hate that one.
That's a pretty badass one, too.
Okay.
F-16,
F-16 Fighting Falcon.
Yep.
Hard. B-52 Strato Fortress. That's kind of nice. A-10 Thunderbolt 2.
Yep.
That's the Warhawk.
Yep, same. There's a difference between them, but I don't know what that is. I know they're basically the same.
737 Tin Mouse. That ain't it.
No.
F-35 Lightning. I don't hate
Pretty
that
cool.
one. I don't hate that one. F-15E Strike Eagle.
Yeah, that's Big T's favorite.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. P-51 Mustang. That's like Sunday cruise shit, you know?
Yeah, it's old school.
Yeah, sounds like it.
You take the girl you're sweetest on out to the soda shop. Your P-51 Mustang.
Get you a pop.
Let's get a malt.
Yeah, malt. And you roll up.
Her dad's in the back seat chaperoning. We got one more thing I want to talk about before we get to the pyramids. Jim Morrison from The Doors. You familiar with his work, Arian? Do you like The Doors?
Give me some Doors songs.
Break on through to the other side.
I'm aware.
Day divides night. Night divides the day. Try to run.
Jim Morrison sounds super familiar. What else? Let me see.
Val Kilmer played him in a movie.
What movie was it?
I think it was called The Doors. Come on, baby, light my fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Try to set the night on fire.
I'm aware of The Doors. I know a few.
Okay. Yeah, so they had a short, brief, but bright career because Jim Morrison died when he was, I think, 20. Was it Club 27? Is that what it is?
Damn.
27 Club.
Yeah, so he died in France way back in the day. What was the year that Jim Morrison died exactly here? Bringing this up. It's been over 50 years since
1971.
1971. He died in 71, and there's a new documentary on Apple TV that says that he's actually still alive. And I will give you $100 if you can guess what city he's living in. If you haven't looked it up already. Off the top of your head.
Buenos Aires.
No.
Is it Milwaukee?
That's where a lot of them go.
Yeah, a lot of them do go there.
Yeah. It'd be amazing if it was Milwaukee because, new fan here.
Mad Dog McKenzie, do we have a guess?
I looked it up.
Okay. Thank you for being honest.
Yep.
McKenzie, did you look it up?
No, I didn't. I was going to say somewhere in Montana.
No. Syracuse, New York.
No way.
Yeah. Turns out he's living in Syracuse, New York.
Damn.
As a handyman. And so this guy's trying to get to the bottom of it and figure out whether or not this is actually Jim Morrison.
My cousins live there, I'll ask.
Faking your death just to
If
go
they've
live
seen
in
him.
Syracuse seems
Yeah, that's
like
tough.
So this guy, his name's Frank. I don't think they've given his last name, but his name's Frank and he lives in Syracuse. He's a handyman. And there's a lot of coincidences that say that this guy could be Jim Morrison. He showed the picture to 3 of Jim Morrison's exes. 2 of them started to cry when they looked at it, saying that it's him. There's a scar on this guy Frank's nose where Morrison had a mole. So it's saying that possibly he got it removed to try to slip into the background. So Frank's eyes look like they're brown. Jim Morrison's were blue. But if you zoom in deeply, it looks like he's wearing contact lenses, trying to change the color.
And why would he have faked his death and moved to Syracuse?
I don't know. Maybe he just got sick of being famous, got sick of the road life. got sick of the drugs and all that shit.
Right, but you could just quit all that stuff.
Jim Morrison was a weird guy too. So if one person, you could tell me that they faked their death, I think I would believe Jim Morrison would have. But you're right. Most people would just be like, I'm kind of done with the whole rock star thing.
Yeah, like all the things you just named, you could just quit doing.
Yeah.
This is one of many musicians who their fan bases said fake their death and move somewhere. Tupac did this.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis did this. Yeah, I think this is just another case of fans not letting it go, man. Legit.
They don't let you upstairs in Graceland, though.
No. What do you think's up there?
I don't know. A lot of people have theories.
So apparently, this guy Frank and Jim Morrison, they have got the same speech patterns. They both love the French poet Baudelaire. And on camera,
who doesn't?
The maintenance guy said that he was part of a swimming team, just like Jim Morrison. And in Frank's profile picture, I believe from Facebook, there's a picture of him with John Densmore, who is the drummer from The Doors, and the picture was taken in 2013. Pretty crazy, right?
Interesting. Syracuse is wild.
Syracuse is, but again, that is a great place to go for faking your death, right?
I'd fake my death to get out of Syracuse.
Right.
It's not that bad.
But seriously, like if you're world famous superstar, one of the most famous musicians on the planet, nobody's going to look for you in Syracuse, New York, right?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, they would.
You think so?
It's not like that obscure of a town.
Yeah, I would say like I would choose a different like town in upstate New York that was like off the beaten path.
Different country as well. Like why would you
like
stay
Syracuse
here?
is relatively known.
It would be
So
like,
apparently,
go ahead.
this guy Frank, there was a guy named Frank in Syracuse, New York. He had the same first, middle, and last name. He died in 2015. So the guy that made this movie says that he imagines that Syracuse ID Frank met Jim, maybe at the Eastman Theater, and Jim made Frank an offer he couldn't refuse, and then took his identity. So he might have been bopping around for a little bit. And there was a private investigator that said that Jim Morrison's social security profile is still active and traces it to the New York area. So it might be getting social security payments.
Get on it, Doge.
Yeah, this is
Doge is gonna. Yeah.
This is a job for Doge. That'd be awesome. I feel like we don't get a lot of faking your own death stories that have happy endings, and this one seems to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that illegal? I think we talked about
yeah.
this.
Yes,
It's
very.
illegal to fake your own death.
Well,
no,
you
it's
have
not.
to commit many types of fraud to do it.
We did, yeah. We
Yeah,
Correct.
like
yes, we
leading
did
up
talk
to
about
it.
this just like a month ago.
Yeah, not illegal, but
The things you have
can't
to do
get
to
there.
do it are illegal.
Yeah.
So the keyboard player from The Doors, Ray, he was convinced that Jim Morrison faked his death, and his exes, some of them keep very secret. One of his exes is named Ellen Sander, and she said in the documentary, "Yes, I know the secret, and you are not going to get it out of me." And there was another ex named Sally Stevenson, said that she talked to him about the plot of a book that she was writing about a rock star who hated his life and decided to fake an onstage electrocution and disappear. And Jim Morrison whispered in her ear, "If you don't finish the book, I might steal your ending."
that's saucy. I like that.
Yeah,
That'd be good to put in a book.
it would be very good to put in a book. I wonder if Jim Irsay has come across this yet. Because this would fascinate Mr. Irsay, the owner of the Colts.
Wait, why?
He's made trips to Jim Morrison's grave. He's talked to him at his grave before. He's probably got some Doors merchandise. He's a big Doors fan. I might have to forward this to Mr. Irsay.
That's wild. To talk to the grave of a relative makes sense. You know, you're coping its piece. To talk to the grave of a celebrity you enjoyed, something wrong with you, dog.
Yeah. All right, hang on. While I send this to...
Oh, you really are sending it to him?
Jim Irsay. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
Why do you casually have Jim Irsay's number, dog?
Well, I'm just going to... I'm going to forward it to him on X.com, the Everything app.
Oh, I thought you were going to text him. I'm like,
I do not have his number.
Oh.
I've got his guy's number. That's right, yeah.
Comedy, yo.
All right, we want to talk about the pyramids?
Let's do it.
Before we get to the pyramids and the new discoveries, possibly, and it's brought to you by Part of My Cheesesteak. It's tournament time. Ordering Part of My Cheesesteak for your game day meal or late night eats is the best play call you can make. I'm going to have a cheesesteak on Friday. That is my solemn vow to you all. I'm going to have Part of My Cheesesteak, where they offer a wide variety of cheesesteaks, loaded fries, and popular desserts, all delivered right to your door, so you don't have to miss any of the action on your couch. Pick your favorite cheesesteak made with thin sliced steak. It's got the melted provolone, but it's also got the mouth-watering cheese sauce and caramelized onions on a toasted hoagie roll. Nothing says sports. Nothing says the tournament like Part of My Cheesesteak. The perfect food to eat on your couch, the perfect food to eat with the boys, with the fellas, while the game's on. You can order the popular Big Cat Combo, get your choice of cheesesteak, fries, and a drink. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to order with code PMC20. PMC20 for 20% off your order. Steak and what? Cheese and who? Part of My Cheesesteak. Check it out. All right, have you guys seen the new news about the pyramids?
Yes.
What are your thoughts? Because they're alleging that there's a giant underground structure of some sort.
I need it explained to me what the purpose of those pillars would be.
Okay. All right. So let's walk through it, because this started to go viral last week, and the first person I saw put it out was none other than Alex Jones.
Love that.
Yeah. So Alex said that they've discovered giant underground structures in the pyramids, and it's going to blow everything we know about archaeology wide open. Then I started looking around for other people talking about it besides Alex Jones, and everybody that was talking about it was referring to Alex Jones's report. And then you dig a little bit further and you click on the links that Alex puts out, and you find out that it's like a Substack account that's talking about this. And there's one study that a guy has done that has not been reviewed that he put out there that other people, now we're like 4 degrees separated from the initial report, where we have websites, more reputable websites, talking about another website that cited Alex Jones, and then Alex Jones has his own site that cites the Substack study.
There are some people doing good work on Substack.
There are. I'm not saying that everything on Substack is wrong. I'm saying that it's not like verified.
Sure.
Because it's anybody with a blog can write it. So because we've reached like 4 degrees of separation from the initial report, a lot of the sites that are talking about it now are just doing it because people are searching for it and they want to get some cash based on clicks. So they start talking about it. So what really happened was there was a research team, and it was a guy named Corrado Malanga. He's from the University of Pisa, and Filippo Biondi of the University of Strathclyde in Scotland. I definitely mispronounced that. Strathclyde in Scotland. So they said that they discovered an underground city that's underneath the pyramids. They said that it goes all the way down like 6,500 feet beneath the pyramids. So that would be, what, like 4 or 5 Freedom Towers, right? The Freedom Tower is 1776.
Correct, yeah.
So whatever that maths out to.
Yeah, like 4.
I'm not a math guy. So they say that should put in perspective, though. There's a giant fucking structure right underneath the pyramids, and they say they might have found the halls of Amenti. But it's not verified. The other scientists are saying use caution until we get the data from them. The Egyptian government has not commented. There's a spokesperson from the project that said that the discovery could redefine our understanding of the sacred topography of ancient Egypt, providing spatial coordinates for previously unknown and unexplored subterranean structures. So the technology they said that they used was radar, but it was like very powerful ground radar, which I don't know if you guys have seen. There's a documentary on Netflix about this woman that went missing in Michigan like 40 years ago, and her mom was her biological mom, gave her up for adoption, and then never heard from her until like 10 years after her death, 20 years after her death. And then she made it her crusade to find out what happened to her daughter. And part of that was using ground penetrating radar, which didn't show shit. And they were just trying to find a grave that was like 6 feet deep. So I don't know, maybe it was too small for the radar to find, or maybe the radar that they're using here in the hunt underneath the pyramids, maybe that's a brand new type of radar that's really, really fucking good, but it's called synthetic aperture radar. So it uses satellite radar, and it combines it with tiny vibrations from seismic activity. So it makes a 3D image of what is underground without the need to dig it up. So the study is awaiting peer review, and it suggests that the city is 10 times larger than the pyramids themselves. That'd be a pretty fucking big chamber down there. I would want to know what's down there. So some people are saying it's a hoax. There is an archaeologist and Egypt's former minister of antiquities named Dr. Zahi Hawass that says that they're completely wrong and that it's fake news. The rumors that have been spread about the Egyptian pyramids, that there are columns under King Khafre's pyramid, have no basis in truth. There's no scientific evidence to support this claim. There are no missions working in King Khafre's pyramid now. He said that on his official Facebook page. And some people are questioning the effectiveness of that radar technology, and they say that it doesn't work beyond a few meters if you're looking for stuff. They say that they found 8 vertical cylinder-shaped structures that go 2,100 feet deep underneath the pyramids. Each shaft is surrounded by spiral pathways that connect to 2 80-meter cube-shaped structures, and above those they found 5 multi-level structures connected by passageways, which would be, I don't know how you would build. That would be tough to build right now underground.
Yeah, and I just don't, are they, I still don't, I haven't seen an explanation for what they are.
They say that it might
purpose, I should
be
say.
The hulls of a minty is what they're saying that it might be. Said they were found underneath each of the 3 pyramids to serve as access points to the underground system. The halls of Amenti have the Hall of Records, which is a hidden room. It's believed to be underneath the pyramid or the Sphinx, and it contains resources of information about the ancient people of the area.
Now, how did they? Now that is just a crapshoot, or does I obviously don't have any evidence of this.
Well, they say that their evidence is the study that they used the radar on, and that has not been peer reviewed.
There's a scan where you can kind of see something, but it's not clear what it is, and they're projecting.
Yeah. Is the Egyptian government kind of reluctant to excavate those sites with detail?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, they definitely are. There have been like a bunch of, I think they have some residual fear of people excavating their shit and then stealing it, because that's what used to happen. Like if you ever been to any museum in England, they've got a lot of shit from ancient Egypt, and they just like found it during the excavation and they stole it. And so once every like 10 years, they'll send a bunch of stuff back. But I think Egypt doesn't want their stuff to be taken, which I understand. And it's also like a very important site to them because it's the ancient history of their people. So they don't want just anybody else coming in there and digging stuff up. I think they need to see some like real evidence of anything.
Okay.
I'm sending something to the group chat. Can we play this so we can all hear it?
Y'all heard about this? No? I'm so sorry. A 2022 paper has just resurfaced, which claims that structures were found underneath the Great Pyramid using ground-penetrating radar. The theories for what this anomaly is have ranged everything from burial structures to power plants. And so, of course, every single conspiracy account under the sun has been flocking to this like a fly to shit. And y'all have been tagging me in these videos constantly asking for my opinion, so here it is. I'm going to say this once. This paper is, and I cannot stress this enough, not peer-reviewed. One of the authors of this paper is known for other works, like this one. Like this one. Part of the reason why a paper from 2022 is only gaining so much traction over the last 48 hours is because it was covered in a press conference with a guy from InfoWars. This guy and a guy from InfoWars. So here's the ground truth of it. Nobody knows what this is. Anyone who tells you they know what this is lying to you. And until this is peer-reviewed, any theories about this are completely baseless conjecture.
Okay.
One of my favorite things is baseless conjecture.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we do, is baseless conjecture.
So a little context behind that dude. That dude, I follow him on YouTube, and I couldn't see the video, but I just hear his voice and I know exactly who he is. So I subscribe to him on YouTube. What he does, and he's been doing it for years, is he takes. Originally, he was, I think it was either archaeological or geological, either one, could be both, but that's what his field of study is. And he just basically he made a whole bunch of videos about archaeology, and then that turned into debunking wild claims. And so I believe he is a, I don't know if he's PhD, but he is very studied in the field, and he just takes archaeological claims and he debunks them. That's like all he does, and his videos are hilarious because he's entertaining, but they're also very informative. And I think I didn't watch the whole series, but he had an entire series of him debunking Graham Hancock, and his whole, he has a entire claim of I forget what exactly he claimed, but he's done Ancient Aliens, he's done all of this other stuff. And he's fascinating. If y'all, what is his name, so people can follow him if they want to. But he's fire. I love his work.
Mini Minute Man.
Mini Minute Man. Is that KFC?
I know.
Is it his son?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a theory that that's where the builder of the Great Pyramid is buried. So that's why they were looking there, because there's nothing there in that part of the Great Pyramid structure. So they're like, what's this big empty spot? Oh, that must be where the head dude is buried. So then they claim that they found a bunch of stuff underground. I hope that they found, that'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if they found all that underground.
Yeah.
Right? I'm in favor of them finding underground stuff. So now is where you run into the problem of, like, some guy says this, and it's a wild claim, and now it has to be peer reviewed. But the people that do actual science probably don't want to waste their time peer reviewing this, which they already think is bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot. Yeah. I mean, if you're a scientist, like, and you already think it's bullshit, I don't know enough about it.
But also, if there's a 5% chance this is true, I feel like you have an obligation. Somebody has an obligation to figure it out.
What if I put out a video saying that, like, according to this, a study that I've done, directly underneath the Great Pyramids in Giza, I have located a giant pool of chocolatey goodness surrounded by a crisp graham cracker crunch.
Okay, what evidence would you have for that? Because they do have...
I use a secret kind of radar that you
whether
don't know about.
the evidence is what they say it is or not, they have something.
I use desert radar.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Well, okay, then I don't think that you're qualified to speak on it.
Okay.
And it's really chocolatey.
Maybe.
With marshmallows floating around.
If you could show me this radar that you have, maybe somebody should look into it.
Okay, I'll send you a blurry screenshot that I took of it.
Okay.
But you're not even qualified to read it. So you're not
I'm
know
not.
what you're
I've
looking
never
at.
heard of it before. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. I hope that it's true. That'd be badass. I like to imagine that there would be. It's fun to imagine. That's what this guy's getting at. It's fun to imagine.
I agree. I'm all for it. It's just every single ancient thing that has been reimagined and translated, and it all just boils down to that's about where we were evolutionarily, in archaeological findings, technological findings. Nothing ever surmounts to, like, there was some, like, crazy shit that's gonna change our future. No, it's never that. I hope it is, though, one day. I hope all that shit. Try to Turin, I mean, anything. I want anything of that. All of that shit that could break our foundational understanding of of where we're at. I would love that thing to be true, but it's just not ever.
Yeah. Anytime I hear something in the news like scientists have discovered so and so that will completely change our understanding about how the universe works, I click on it and it's like they've done some sort of light shifting study on a sun that's 40 trillion light years away, and it's moving faster than they thought that it was going to be moving. And I'm like, fuck, well, someone explain this to me like I'm 5.
I think the biggest find that wasn't groundbreaking, didn't change, but it solidified what we thought about the universe was, I think it was 2015, I believe, where certain scientists detected gravitational waves. And it was something that Einstein theorized in 1915, where two suns in each other's orbit create waves throughout the universe because the space is malleable. That was fire. Like that's amazing that we were able to detect that. But again, it wasn't like groundbreaking as far as like changing our mind about anything. It just solidified what we already thought, given other variables in that field. So that was cool.
What was besides that, is there any other thing that in our lifetime scientists have discovered that have just blown our minds? I'll tell you what. What's that?
The internet?
The internet, yeah.
It's not a discovery, it was an invention. But
yeah. Thank you, Al Gore.
It was
Yeah.
scientists. Kind of.
I think a government project.
Yeah, DARPA. I think yeah, when it comes to like new scientific discoveries in our lifetime that's really changed the way.
What was the God particle thing?
Yeah, the Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a particle that was, again, theorized to be true. And they just, so it wasn't that they discovered it, is that they confirmed it.
You know what else is, but it's been like a slow trickle on this one, saying that as we discover more about Mars and do more exploration on Mars, we start to find like tiny evidence of organic life or like molecules. But that's been something that's come out like very, 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 very slowly. I don't think that they've had carbon-based life yet, actually.
No, they haven't. One thing was, I think they like geologically, like the terrain looks like old patterns of like running water, something like that. And I don't know.
Yeah,
they're just starting to talk about shit like that. I would love for something to just blow my fucking change the course of our trajectory. I'm all for that.
So the Curiosity rover found long chain organic molecules on Mars.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's like building blocks of life is what I'm seeing. But it's not life. It's not hard evidence of life.
Long chain organic molecule.
Yeah.
Proteins are relatively large organic compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. The elements are arranged in small molecules called amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and they bond together to form long chains called polypeptides.
Yeah.
Shout out to
so
chemistry.
It's like we're getting closer and closer. Wake me up when there's a skeleton. When we find a skeleton on Mars, then I'll be like, holy fuck, that's crazy.
Something.
So the other theories about the pyramids are that they were built by time travelers from the future. So like future humans went back in time, built the pyramids so that the past would know, hey, people from the future visited. That's one theory people have tossed out there.
Hate that
people
one.
also they also think that maybe society was just more advanced than we thought back then, and so they were able to build these pyramids. And there's evidence of how advanced they were, and then something happened, like a giant flood or something like asteroid or something like that, and it took life back to like more of the prehistoric times. And then also people that think that aliens came down to help to build them.
One of my favorite ones which would be fire, is if you look at like a bird's eye view of the pyramids of Giza, it's relatively in the same position as Orion's belt, the constellation in the sky.
Yeah.
And so that they were crafted in a way to mimic those three stars. That's a cool one that I would hope to be true, but probably isn't.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, or it could just be 3 things in a row.
I mean, yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know.
And also back then, I don't know how prominent those 3 stars would be because there would be no light pollution. And I don't know, this is a guess, but I would assume you could see the Milky Way every night back then. And so while they would be visible, I don't know how much they would stand out in the abundance of what would be the entire universe at your disposal visually.
Yeah, that's a good point, because as much as we see Orion and Orion's belt, it's not as visible if you're like in the middle of the Australian outback.
That's the one thing I think that as humans, I implore people to experience, because a lot of time in the city, people that grow up in the city, that you don't really see the night sky, and it kind of disassociates you with the universe that you occupy.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a place where there's no light pollution or little light pollution, and it's a breathtaking sight. It is so humbling, and it's the closest thing I've felt to feeling what people feel when they talk about God. I feel a part of this entire universe in a very real, small, insignificantly significant way. And it's just a gorgeous thing to experience, man. It's what y'all feel when you watch sports.
Yeah. I see God. No, I hear you. If you go someplace and you look up at the sky, there's no light, it's a different experience. Like at the Grand Canyon, I went there last year, and it was one of the coolest night skies that I'd ever seen. If you're ever like on a boat in the middle of the ocean somewhere, look up at the sky. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's breathtaking.
So the 3 pyramids were not planned at the same time. The 3 pyramids that they say mimic Orion's belt, turns out they weren't planned at the same time, which would make you think maybe it's not connected, but it does kind of look like it. But they did use advanced math to build the pyramids. So they multiplied the base area by 1/3 of the height to understand the geometry behind it. And they figured out the ideal angle of the pyramid slope. So the primary pyramid angle was 51 degrees, which was optimized for strength and also for looking cool. And the Pythagorean theorem was also used. So they used ropes with knots to make sure that the right angles were perfectly right, and they had perfect square bases, and that would make it more stable. So it is a crazy thing that they were able to do all this, and it definitely took a long ass time. The Great Pyramid, they say, took 23 years to build.
That's quick.
You think so?
23 years to build. I still don't like, as much as the pyramids are talked about, obviously they're one of the most famous sites in the world. I do think it's still not, people don't appreciate Jesus lived closer to now than to when the pyramids were built.
That is crazy.
Like, that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Oh,
that's wild.
The crazy thing that they always say is Cleopatra lived closer to the opening of the first Taco Bell than she did the construction of the pyramids.
That's wild. So if you look at how they were built, there's the Great Pyramid itself. It took 23 years, and it was made up of 2.3 million stone blocks. So what's the math on that, Big T? How many blocks a year are they putting in? 100,000 blocks a year. They had it was a town that was built up to support the construction of the pyramid. So they had bakeries, they had farms, they had their equivalent of restaurants.
Grave sites.
All in this area. What's that?
Grave sites too.
Yeah, because a lot of people died when they built them. So it was like a thriving little industrial town around the pyramid to help them build it. So the theory right now of how they were built is still there are multiple theories because it's unclear. Could be the aliens, could be advanced civilization. Some people think that they had large ramps that they would wet down with wet clay, and they would have sleighs, rollers, levers, a shitload of ramps to help move them up, and a more controversial theory says that they used internal ramps. So they brought the stones into the middle, and then using like pulleys and levers, raise the stones up to the top like cranes inside, and then push them out to the outside. But there's about 100 of them. Have you guys ever been to the pyramids?
Never have.
I think I would like to go.
Let's do it.
There's a cool Pizza Hut overlooking the pyramids. Donnie's been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, have you not seen that video?
No.
Oh, it's sick.
Well, you can't eat
There's a
Pizza
Pizza
Hut in front
Hut?
of the pyramids,
Yeah.
dog. You gotta eat some kind of like Mediterranean cuisine. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I was joking around, but there is a Pizza Hut that has a sick view of the pyramids.
I bet. Cheesy crust. Looking at pharaoh's tombs.
I kind of like the Sphinx. I think I might like the Sphinx more than I like the pyramids.
Yeah. I fuck with the Sphinx. One of my favorite pictures of all time, which I need to hit this girl up. It's been years. I commissioned a painting years ago. I forgot about it, dog. But it's a picture of Louis Armstrong playing in front of his wife in front of the Sphinx and the pyramid in the background. It's fire. One of the
That's
best
pretty
pictures
cool.
of all time. Yeah. So she's supposed to be painting that. I'm gonna hit her up today. What the fuck? I forgot. Thank you.
When was
Eric.
that?
It was years ago, dog. Like
Did
3
you pay
years
for it
ago.
already?
I paid for half of it. No, I think I paid
Yeah.
for the whole thing.
3 years and you just
I just forgot because it was in the middle. She started it when I was in the middle of my move. I'm sorry, when middle of my remodel, and I was like, "Don't even worry about it because it's gonna be like 2 years before I can even put it up." And I just forgot to check back. I just forgot. So part of it's me, but part of it should be her. I'm gonna hit her up right now.
I hope you get that.
that number's changed, brother.
Well, I follow her on the gram and she's still active, so I will harass.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, what's her name? I don't remember her
Bad
name.
start.
That's it. You have to know that.
Oh shit.
You got emails? You got an email trail here?
It starts with a J for sure. No, it's text. It's all text. So I have her number too.
Do we know why the Sphinx's nose is missing? I think I know.
There's many theories about this. It was one of the theories that I grew up hearing, but looking back, it's probably bullshit. Was that Europeans cut it off to prove that the Egyptians were black? That was in my circles. That's what I heard growing up.
How does that have one thing to do with the other?
Because a lot of us. So I grew up in the fruit of Islam under Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad was it's kind of I don't know if I would go as far as to call it a cult, but it's very interesting. They're extreme. Let's put it like that. And so a lot of colonial intent was to disassociate any kind of greatness from blackness. So the way white supremacy works in America and globally, and this is them talking, is to disassociate any kind, like I said, any kind of greatness from blackness. I mean, Martin Luther King even spoke about this, so I agree with it to a certain extent. He was quoted saying, if you look at any black terminology, right, it's always like dark, despair. It has all of the connotations are bad, and if you look at white, it's pure, it's angelic, and goodness, and heavenly, and so their argument is that they did that intentionally. And so going as far back as, if you think about Egypt, you don't necessarily associate it with Africa. You associate it with the Middle East, right? Mm-hmm. And so their reasoning is that the Egyptians were black, and European settlers cut off the nose to try of the Sphinx, because black nose is a very distinct nose, and it was to disassociate the greatness of what the pyramids were and that greatness and that great society from having anything to do with black folks in general from Africa. That was the reasoning. I highly doubt that, but
Because I had heard that it had been cut off too by, I don't know if it was by thieves or by Europeans
Nas had a song about this.
Yeah.
Remember that? I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be what I want to be before we came to this country. Yeah, I don't know. It was a pretty big song back in the day. He said at the end, he said, cut off their nose to impose what basically still goes on today, you see? So yeah, I didn't pull that out of my ass. It's a long-standing theory among what we would call hoteps, which is a deeper subject, by the way. But
yeah, that would be a good episode too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been also a bunch of talk about curses related to the tombs, and specifically like King Tut's tomb. Mm-hmm. They say that the Egyptians put a curse on each tomb saying if you disturb the gravesite of a pharaoh, then you would pretty much die. Your life would be hell from that point forward. They might have spread that to discourage people from raiding them, from going into the graves and stealing all the treasure and all the gold and shit. But with King Tut's tomb, the guy that financed the excavation, he was a guy named George Herbert, and he died 4 months after they opened the tomb from allegedly a mosquito bite that he received during the project. And then he shaved it, cut it, got blood poisoning, and died. There's a guy who visited the tomb in 1923, and he died right after. He got a fever. His name was George Gould. He was just a visitor, just a tourist. There was a radiologist named Sir Archibald Douglas Reed. He x-rayed King Tut's mummy. He died on January 15th, 1924, right after he x-rayed it. He had abdominal surgery to treat the spread of skin cancer that he developed as a result of his career being outside, but they attribute that to King Tut. A member of the excavation team, A.C. Mace, died in 1928. He got pneumonia. The half-brother of the person who financed it, the Honorable Mervyn Herbert, died on May 26, 1929, from pneumonia.
Why the Honorable?
That's just his title.
Gotcha.
My guess is maybe a judge.
Gotcha.
The Honorable Mervyn Herbert died of the malarial pneumonia. Then there was Captain Richard Bethel. That was the secretary for one of the people that was principally involved in uncovering this tomb. Died in 1929. He was smothered to death, so that one might just be murder. Then Howard Carter is the guy who opened the tomb. He was the first person to open it on February 16th, 1923, and then he died 16 years later. But some people say that's part of the King Tut curse. I think people just died back then. I think,
none of those sound
life expectancy was like 35. That dude probably just died.
That's funny.
Yeah, but being a grave robber in ancient Egypt, that must have been simultaneously exhilarating and also terrifying. Like if they catch you, you're fucking dead.
Yeah, but like people got buried with like mad jewels back then. That's a good little lick.
Yeah. You know, they tried to give one of the mummies to Benito Mussolini.
Really?
Yeah, as a present.
He didn't take it?
No, he said, don't fuck me up with that curse.
I feel like if you're already Mussolini,
yeah,
you take a mummy.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Like, getting rid of the mummy might have been his curse.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like, no, I don't want that mummy. Some horrible death will befall me where they'll string me up in the streets of the town that I love. Get that out of here.
Tough
Break for old Benito. What else we got about the pyramids? Anything? You guys have anything you want to talk about with pyramids?
Originally they were cased in like smooth, shining white limestone. So like that would have been an amazing sight to see, like white pyramids in the desert like that. That would have been fire.
Big T, maybe the next mission for your power washing business.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to get on there. I don't know why that's not on the game already.
How long do you think it would take to power wash the Great Pyramid of Giza?
I've done some pretty significant jobs in 4 hours.
So how many? I know that it's 2.3 million limestone blocks. Is it limestone or is it sandstone?
I think it was limestone.
How big are the blocks?
They're like tons, man. Like a couple tons.
Well, the weight doesn't matter. It's just the area.
Gotcha.
And we're also talking about the external blocks.
Correct.
Not all the blocks. So let's see. How
I bet I could get it done.
Many external
pretty quick
blocks.
I don't know, bro. That shit.
Great Pyramid. It's limestone, more than 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks. I bet if we knew math, we could figure out.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm happy for you though, or sorry that happened. I'm not doing all that math, but I think it'd go quicker than you think.
Does anybody know how to do pyramid math?
It would just be force.
Just look up the area of the pyramids.
Surface area?
Yeah.
Okay. Area. Great Pyramid. Okay. The Great Pyramid of Giza's original surface area, including the 4 triangular faces and the square base, was approximately 1.3 million square feet. But we don't need to do the base, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? It's not on there. They're not. I've officially finished everything on the game.
Okay, I think I've got an answer for you.
Okay.
728,870 square feet of surface area is what I'm seeing right here.
I don't really have a frame of reference for that.
You can't give me a quote?
I don't know. I'd have to get out there and do a site check. And then I can let you know.
You go out there with one of those rollers?
I need something. I've beaten I've bought everything you can buy on the game to power wash something else.
But how sick would that be if we... I almost said something that was going to sound bad, but we talked about how cool it would be. Don't say, how great would it be if we made the pyramids white again? Don't put it that way.
Yeah.
But if... how cool would it be... how cool would it be if we power wash the pyramids safely, maintain the original structure...
Restore them to their original glory.
There you go. Restore them. How sick would that be if they were restored to the original color, whatever that would happen to be?
Right, yeah, it'd be sick.
How majestic would that be?
Put the gold cap back on top?
Was there a gold cap on top?
I'm pretty sure. The top was like gold, I think.
Did it have like a star, like a Christmas tree?
No, it was just the top of the triangle.
It is pretty amazing that they were able to construct those things.
Yeah. Here's some fun facts about the pyramids.
Hit me.
The Great Pyramid points to true north with an accuracy of better than 1/15 of a degree, and the other 3 faces. So, like the corners of are lined up pretty precisely to north, east, south, west, on a map. Let's see. Another one is if you divide the perimeter of the base of the Great Pyramid by height, you get 2 pi with less than 0.01% error. The ratio of the slant height of the Great Pyramid to half of its base is equal to the golden ratio and accurate to 3 decimal places. Half of the base is used because that's part of the triangle. That's the slant height height from the ground.
And they did all that shit using like an abacus back then.
Yeah, I mean, this shit is magnificent. That's why it's one of the 8 world wonders. It's shit is fascinating.
7.
You
gave an extra world wonder of the ancient world.
You said what?
You added an additional wonder of the ancient world.
I thought there's 8.
You're including the Bass Pro Shop pyramid.
There's not 8 wonders? I thought there was 8 wonders of the world.
There's 7. The 7 wonders of the ancient world.
People always call things the 8th.
Yeah, that's probably where you got
really?
it from. Yeah. How many can you name off the dome, Big T?
I don't know the names of all of them. There's the one it's like a cave with an ornamental outside in the Middle East. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Oh shit, there's only 7.
There are the pyramids.
Yep.
There's the Gardens of Babylon.
Yep.
There's the gigantic statue that over the water. What's it called? It's a guy. He's like a warrior guy, and he has a name that I forget.
That's close enough.
What's it start with?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know that one.
Then how do you know it's close enough?
Because it's a good description.
Okay. Yeah. Google the.
Is it Chichen Itza?
No, it was in like Greece-ish.
Oh, that's a pyramid.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
No, I found the new Seven Wonders.
He's got a name, and I'm gonna think of it. Colossus?
That sounds right to me. Let's see here. Seven Wonders of the Ancient World. We've got... Well, I see a couple that you could be referring. There's the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about.
Yep. So you got the Hanging Gardens.
Mm-hmm. Pyramids.
The
cave thing with the outside.
Okay.
Which one is that?
That could be the mausoleum at Halicarnassus.
Sure. And then Colossus of Rhodes, and that's probably all I know.
I could have done the Lighthouse of Alexandria too. I knew that one.
Okay. Is Machu Picchu one of them?
That's one of the new wonders of the ancient world. There's also the Temple of Artemis.
Sure.
In Turkey, and the statue of Zeus at Olympia.
Yeah.
In Olympia, Greece.
Yeah.
Probably should have gotten that one. I don't know that this one's kind of soft. I went to Greece last summer, and one of my buddies is his family is Persian, and so we were taking a tour around there and looking at all the shit that they had at the Acropolis and all that stuff, and every single like little informational plaque that they have to tell you what you're looking at, it always talks about how it was built at X time, and then the Persians came in and took over. And he was just flexing in front of everybody, and the Greek people were getting upset with him. He was like, yeah, that's right. My ancestors took this bitch over. It was kind of cool. It was kind of American of them. Americans, Persians, we get the same vibe. Anything else we want to talk about with the pyramids?
When I was younger, I read a book. I don't know what the book was, but I read a book on astral projection, and it claimed that that's what the pyramids were used for. That there's like these air ducts, which is true. Like there's these ducts that fly outside of the center of the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And they claim that they used that to astrally project. So you take your, I guess it would be your soul, or something like that, and you would astrally project outside of your body and go to other dimensions, realms, what have you. That would be fire. And so when I was young, I tried to astrally project all the time. Didn't work.
What did you do? How did you try to do that?
I just closed. I mean, I just say prayer was the same vibe. Just closed my eyes and tried to do it. Never could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, never went anywhere. Fell asleep a few times.
You meditated. You accidentally meditated.
Yeah, I try to. Meditating is hard because my brain don't stop. It just goes. And so meditating was always hard for me. Astral projection was always hard for me. Praying was always hard for me. So now I just vibe.
Just vibe. Appreciate that. Meditation, they always tell you just think about your breathing.
And that's, see, I just did it again. I hate that. When you think about your breathing, you have to think about breathing. And now I'm not manually, now I'm manually doing it. It's not automatic anymore. And so it's going to take about 10 minutes for this to pass and for me to forget about breathing again. But now, right now, I'm thinking about going in and out, or else I won't breathe. I hate that you did that, actually. And I bet somebody listening to this is now thinking about breathing and having to breathe, whereas you just do it regular. That's
You're going to hyperventilate or, not be able to. Yeah, it is fucked up. What about, do you do the same thing with, like, I guess you can't do it with think about your heart beating because that's such like an autonomous thing, but breathing you can fuck with.
Yeah,
the thing for me is
right now I'm thinking about the shit. It's bothersome.
Seeing my nose.
Oh yeah.
If you see it, because your brain sees you see your nose, but your brain has just like tuned it out.
Uh-huh.
And so when I catch a glimpse of it, I think about it for 2 hours.
And you're like, fuck, I have a nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. I can see it.
I guess you can. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
But I can see it with one eye open and one eye closed. But when I open both of them, I can't really. I have to cross my eyes to see it.
Yeah, it kind of blends into what your body's been conditioned to. I remember when I broke my nose and it got hit over kind of to the side of my face, I could see it way more clearly for like a week because I was seeing it out of one eye like perfectly.
Naturally.
It fucked me up. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys? Mad Dog McKinsey, anything else?
No.
All right. If you're planning any wars, just pop me in the group chat so I can find out about the loadouts of the planes that you're using. That would be fucking rad. All right. We will see you guys next week. Good luck, Big T.
Thanks.
On Friday. Good luck, Arian, on opening day.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the hated New York Yankees.
Let's go, Brews. We are playing baseballs.
Oh, right.
Done. Yeah, this is it. This is what we do, baby. We open the season like this. You know?
Can you give Arian a scouting report on Max Fried?
We're gonna have to lay off the curveballs in the dirt tomorrow. Is he their opening day starter?
Yeah, because Garrett Cole. I think
that's
he is.
right. Yeah,
Garrett Cole. He's out.
I thought
season.
I saw. Hang on. I thought I saw it was Rodon. I think it's Carlos Rodon.
Is it? Fuck, we just gave out the wrong scouting report.
But I mean, they will face Fried this weekend.
They will, yeah.
Gotta lay off the curveballs.
Okay, so I just, you tell me if I'm fucking up. I downloaded Ballpark app. That's the MLB app, and so I'm thinking you can have like alerts when your team is playing because I'm not finna check the schedule. There's like 100 some games.
That's not that one's for like tickets and shit. You need just the regular MLB app.
MLB app. Okay, got you. Deleted. Fuck out of here. MLB app.
This is actually a good question because every sport you have to download the correct apps.
Yeah.
For each season, like we're getting close to downloading that Masters app again, which is the best app ever created.
The best sports app of all time.
Without a doubt. There's not even a close second.
Okay, downloading MLB
March Madness app. I've got that going right now. So Big T, for the baseball, the true baseball fan, the real seamhead, they're gonna want the MLB official app.
Yeah. So see, I've got both here in my MLB folder. This is for tickets and stuff. So if you're not going to games, you don't need the Ballpark app. You just need the regular MLB app.
All right,
which you can then customize to your team's
and to
icon.
give alerts after each game.
Yeah, I'm not a notifications guy, but they'll do all that for you if you want.
I am going to be. I can't just dip my toe into this fandom. I got to swan dive in this bitch, and I need to know when my team's playing. I need to know who's playing. I need to know who is on the team. I need to know updates on the roster. I need to know what color the goddamn Gatorade is. I need to know everything. I'm all.
Also, you're going to want to buy MLB TV so you can watch the Brewers games.
MLB TV. It is being bought right now.
I think you can do now. I think they have an option where you can get just a single team, so it's cheaper. You can get just the Brewers instead of every game.
That's all I want. And by proxy, I'm gonna start learning the other people's names because I'm gonna know
exactly. Yeah.
Playing. Yeah. So I'm gonna be a baseball guy here very soon.
This rocks. This rocks.
Love that. All right, we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Follow teams. Yeah,
Mac
you already
Bruce.
know who I'm following. The Brewskis, baby.
Love you guys.